The comfort of a stable family is a luxury that many of us take for granted. However, for children like Michael, who emerge from the shadows of the unforgiving foster system, the road to success is fraught with challenges, much like a high-stakes football match. One fateful day, Mike and his friend visit Wingate Christian School, where their athletic talents catch the attention of the school coach, Bert Cotton. Despite the prejudices of a white-dominated school and Mike's academic struggles, Coach Cotton fights for his admission. The boys get in, but the challenges don't end there. On his first day of school, Mike walks into the building with all his belongings in a plastic bag, causing him to receive strange glances from his classmates. Admittedly, his big posture and looks don't help. None of the teachers are happy about his presence because of his low academic performance. During a volleyball match in school, Mike is spotted by Sean Toohey, a wealthy businessman in Memphis. Sean sees him pick up the leftover popcorn and collect the packets for himself. This seems odd to him, but he does not do anything about it. It has been a month since Mike has been attending Wingate, and his teachers are frustrated by his lack of improvement and low grades. That changes when one of the teachers, Mrs. Boswell, finds a poem that Mike penned and threw into the trash. Reading it out loud, the teachers realize how out of place he truly feels in the school. It becomes clear to them that he is absorbing everything that is being taught in class, but just does not know how to write it down as an answer. She requests other teachers to take his revisions and examination verbally a few times to make him comfortable. There is only one kid in school who is good to Mike. S.J. Toohey, son of Sean Toohey, spends time with him in the park after class. While the other kids are scared of Mike, S.J. tries to teach him to be more cordial. The boys spend time together, and as S.J. leaves for home, the principal comes to have a word with Mike. He informs him that his father fell off an overpass and passed away. Mike is unfazed by this news, as he was never close to his father. Homeless and with no place to stay, Mike crashes at a laundromat. He has to use the sink to wash his clothes as he does not have the money to use a machine. One day, after a play in school, the Tooheys are driving back home. Leanne Toohey, S.J.'s mom, notices Mike walking in summer clothes despite it being freezing outside. She asks her husband to stop the car to find out where he is going. He tells her that he is going to the school gym. When asked if he has a place to stay for the night, he attempts to lie, but is caught by her. She insists on him staying with the Tooheys for the night and refuses to take no for an answer. Mike is awestruck when he spots the rich family's house. Upon entering, he is met with Collins, the Tooheys' daughter. Leanne sets up the couch for Mike to stay the night. While she has opened up her house to a kid in need, she still knows nothing about him. The next morning, when she comes downstairs to check up on the boy and maybe get some answers, he has already left. Leanne catches up to him and invites him to stay for Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving at the Tooheys usually includes store-bought food and football, but seeing Mike sit alone at the dining table, Leanne decides that the entire family will sit together for their meal this year. The lot of them say grace and make small talk while enjoying their dinner. The next day, Leanne takes Mike shopping. She tries to get to know him better, but he is a very closed-off person. She asks him to tell her just one thing about himself. He then shares that he does not like being called Big Mike, the nickname by which everyone addresses him. She promises him from that moment onwards, he will be called Michael. They drive to Hurt Village to meet Michael's mother. It is a downtrodden and dangerous place. Michael asks Leanne to sit in the car while he goes out to meet his mother. He ignores his old friends and walks straight to her house. Seeing an eviction notice, Michael breaks down, knowing his mother has left again. The boy comes back to Leanne and informs her that his mother is not there. They drive off and go to a store called Big and Tall. The area is shady, and Leanne asks him if he can protect her. Michael instantly nods. Having very few options, he picks up a bunch of rugby shirts. While she is not impressed by his fashion sense, Leanne allows the boy to pick whatever he likes. Michael continues to sleep on the couch at the Tooheys' house, but Leanne wants to make him feel more at home there and offers to clean out a room for him. He tells her there is no place he would rather be. She happily sets up a room for him with a wardrobe, a study desk, and a bed. Seeing this, Michael gets emotional and confesses to Leanne that he has never had a bed to himself before. Michael is finally doing better in school thanks to the verbal revisions with his teachers. Because of this improvement, Coach Bert Cotton allows him to join the school team for spring football. The family goes to a fancy restaurant to celebrate this occasion. Before dinner, Leanne and the kids go to a library where they start to reminisce about old days while reading childhood books. Michael did not have a childhood like theirs, so he has never read any of these books. Leanne grabs a copy of Ferdinand the Bull to read to him at bedtime. After dinner, while the family waits for the valet to bring their car, Michael catches sight of a waiter and goes back inside. The two boys hug each other tightly and share an emotional moment. When asked about who the waiter was, Michael tells the Tuohys that he was in fact his brother Marcus. The two had not met in a very long time since they were separated by the Child Protective Services. Michael becomes a part of the Tuohy family. When they send out Christmas cards with him in the picture, all of their friends and family are taken aback. Leanne's friends express their concern for her decision, unsure mainly if Collins is comfortable with this arrangement. This was a thought that had sadly never struck Leanne. That night, she checks in with her daughter to make sure she was and is okay with Michael staying over. Collins is a good and understanding kid. She tells her mother that she does not care what anyone thinks, and that Michael can obviously not stay on the road. She even leaves her friends to go sit with Michael in school so that he does not have to be alone. Spring football is around the corner, and training has begun. Michael is about to play football at this level for the first time ever. He is an offensive lineman, but as he is too afraid to actually hurt any of the players, it is difficult for him to play to his full potential. His family, however, is supportive. Leanne is certain that he will be a great footballer one day, and SJ takes up the responsibility of Michael's practice. During his pep talk, he mentions that the Tuohys are an athletic family, and Michael could not disappoint them. Michael starts to practice hard and gets in better shape for the season. Being a child with no permanent address, Michael has never had an ID for himself. She asks Leanne if she can help him get one for him, and the two go to the government office. They run into a problem. His name is not in the system. This prompts Leanne to propose that Sean and she become legal guardians to Michael. While Sean is reluctant at first, his wife's persuasion leaves him with no choice. The next day, Leanne and Michael go to the government office to get his papers and are informed that most of his file has been misplaced due to the foster care system. The officer informs Leanne about Michael's mother's heavy drug addiction. When she finds out that she only needs the state's approval to acquire Michael's guardianship, she decides to pay Michael's mother a visit. Leanne goes back to Hurt Village to meet Denise O'Hare. She tells her that Michael lives with her and she would like to provide for him in the best way possible. When the women continue to talk about Michael, Denise warns Leanne that he might run away one day in search of his mama, something he was infamous for. She has trouble remembering the name of Michael's father, but finally recalls it to be Williams. Seeing her pain, Leanne holds her hand and tries to comfort the crying woman, whose guilt for ruining her children's life is visible on her face. With the guardianship papers and documents now in place, the Tuohys officially welcome Michael into the family. Everything seems to be going great. They give him a truck, a vehicle he always wanted for himself. SJ and Michael share a very beautiful bond, just like real brothers do. SJ helps him understand football strategies by using spices and condiments, while Michael takes SJ out for drives. One such day, the brothers decide to go to the store to buy the new Madden game. Since Leanne is busy with meetings, Michael offers to drive. The brothers are jamming to a song on the radio when suddenly Michael loses control and crashes into another car. He puts his arm around SJ to make sure the kid is not harmed. Leanne gets a call about the accident and runs to make sure her sons are fine. While SJ is enjoying the attention he is getting because of his bruised lip and face, Michael is ridden with guilt. The cop at the scene informs Leanne that SJ is very lucky, as the airbag could have done some serious damage to a kid his size. When Leanne sees Michael's bruised arm, he tells her that he changed the direction of the airbag so that SJ did not get hurt. Leanne remembers the time when one of her teachers from Wingate had shared Michael's 8th grade career aptitude test. All parameters were in single digits, except for one: protective instincts. Michael tested in the 98th percentile for protective instincts, and today she saw why. The school's football team meets up for practice just before their big game. Michael tries to do his best, but he is just not violent enough and cannot get himself to attack another player. Coach Cotton is unable to get through to him, so Leanne steps in. She uses Michael's protective instincts to make him understand the gameplay. She compares the quarterback with herself and the tailback with SJ. She tells him that the team is his family and he must protect them at all costs. This clarifies things for him, and he starts playing offensive. Coach Cotton is surprised and thanks Leanne for her help. The D-Day for Michael to showcase his athletic talent is finally here. The Wingate Crusaders versus Redneck Lions. Michael is a sensitive boy, and the sledging from the opponent team keeps distracting him from his play. During halftime, the offensive lineman of the Lions kicks Michael in the head. When Cotton appeals to the referee, Crusaders are given a yellow card for unsportsmanlike behavior. Seeing Coach Cotton stand up for him, Michael feels appreciated and protective of his team. In the next play, he channels all his anger towards jersey 66 of the Lions. While the Crusaders get a point, Michael drags jersey 66 to the end of the field and pushes him over the bleachers. Everyone cheers, and Michael gains confidence in himself. Being the supportive younger brother that he is, SJ has recorded the entire gameplay on a camcorder for Michael. After the match, he burns a CD of the match highlights and mails them to all the nearby universities in order to help Michael get a scholarship. All the coaches of various universities in the south of the United States are immensely impressed by Michael's talents and want him for their schools. They all gather to watch him in action, and soon the offers start raining in. However, Michael's grades are too low for him to be eligible for the scholarship. Leanne decides to get a tutor for him, Miss Sue. This is where the real grind begins for the boy. When the university coaches come to the house to meet with Michael, SJ and him sit the coaches down and discuss any incentives that the coaches are ready to offer SJ. These range from walking on the field before a match, tossing the coin for the team, to team merchandise. While offers and incentives keep pouring in, Michael and Miss Sue work hard to increase his grades. The Tuohys and Miss Sue are alumni of the University of Mississippi, also known as Old Miss. They want Michael to follow their footsteps and believe it's the best school for him. Slyly but surely, they all make efforts in order for Michael to pick Old Miss. He is considering Tennessee, but seeing how much Ole Miss means to his family, he picks that school. Everyone is very happy with Michael's decision, and everything seems to be going in the right direction, except for just one, obviously. Michael's literature teacher is still not impressed with his progress and decides to not give him a grade he doesn't deserve. In order for Michael to improve, he has to do exceptionally well on his final term essay. Miss Sue and Michael brainstorm essay ideas, but nothing seems to stick. Sean steps in and decides to help Michael. He suggests that he write about the poem, Charge of the Light Brigade. When Sean recites the poem for Michael, he instantly connects with it. He realizes that there is a thin line between courage and honor, which the poet is trying to highlight through his words. He pens down a beautiful essay, one which even his stubborn literature teacher cannot dislike. He gives Michael a good grade, enabling him to pass with a 2.52 GPA. At the graduation ceremony, the entire family is present to cheer Michael on. Everyone is proud of the man that he has become. He went from a kid with no roof to an athlete on his way to play for Ole Miss. While the Tuohys are preparing for their eldest to leave for college, the NCAA calls Michael in for questioning. They are suspicious about the Tuohys taking him in and his decision to play for Ole Miss. It was not uncommon for rich white families to sponsor troubled black kids in order to make money out of them. Hearing this accusation, Michael gets emotional and assumes the worst of Leanne. He runs away from home and cannot be contacted. He has gone back to Hurt Village to look for his mother. He doesn't find his mother there, but he does run into a few old friends, get him to join them for beers and drugs. Feeling as he does, he agrees. His old friend, Tony, starts shit-talking Leanne and Collins. He sexualizes both of them, angering Michael. He beats up Tony and his crewmates. The next day, Leanne comes to Hurt Village looking for Michael. There, she runs into Tony, who tells her to warn Michael as he is coming after him. Leanne is a tough woman and a protective mama bear who would do anything for her children though. She in turn warns Tony to be aware of her and never threaten her children. She has contacts that would make his life hell. When she gets back into her car, Leanne gets a call from Michael, who apparently spent the night in the laundromat. She drives over and apologizes to her son for her selfish behavior. She tells him that he should be allowed to do whatever he wants to and go to whichever school he likes. Her saying that is enough for him. He goes back to the NCAA and tells the investigator that the only reason he wants to go to Ole Miss is because his family has gone there. The investigator is convinced and satisfied with the answer. She approves his scholarship, and Michael is ready to begin his new life as a university student. The family goes to the Ole Miss campus to see Michael off. Miss Sue has moved into an apartment nearby to help him with his studies. Leanne is very sad to say bye to her son, and after a quick half-hug, goes to the car and cries. However, Michael is not letting his mama leave without a proper bye. He goes towards the car, knocks on the window, and asks for a proper hug. She gets out of the car and gives him a tight embrace. The two cry while saying bye. It's funny how strangers can be such an important part of who you become in life. Michael O'Hare is a real football player who was drafted by the NFL in 2006. To this day, he continues to be one of the most famous offensive linemen in NFL history.